Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A bright, sunny Saturday in Bangalore. I don't know the other city, but in Bangalore it's quite sunny. It's more like summer, with the temperature reaching around 30 degrees. So today is Mahashivratri. Happy Mahashivratri to all my friends who has joined this webinar. And what I understand is the day Shivratri begins, the winter ends, the summer starts. So I can feel the difference. Difference, environment changing, summer is delaying, winter is delaying, monsoon is extending. What is all these signs are? Is the climate is changing? So today we have a very important subject, green building, net zero, sustainable. So I want to thank our chairman of Chennai chapter, Mr. Balakrishnan, to come out with unique webinar. And under his leadership, this is the first webinar that we are conducting on behalf of Chennai chapter. What a great year to start. And what is FOCUS? FOCUS stands for Forum of Critical Utility Services. The platform for all the building critical services professionals such as architects, structural engineers, project managers, builder, developers, and so and so. It was born in 2020, October 26th. So we have over 500 members. And year 2023 will be a great year because we want to bring in many subjects that will impact and create a way to become a net zero country. So to make FOCUS more popular, we start with the corporate video FOCUS. May I request Shilpa to play the video.
We are delighted to present to you the Forum of Critical Utility Services, the acronym of which is FOCUS. Much as the acronym suggests, the role of the Forum of Critical Utility Services is to bring in focus all that concerns the construction industry. This is not just for India, but for a coordinated construction industry world over. For those of you who may not...
Messages are coming that audio is not visible. Is that audio can be heard, Mr. Balakrishnan?
Yeah,
I'm able to hear.
the audio.
I think some of them, if you can... Okay, audio is coming. Okay, continue.
Be aware, this initiative is to prepare and present a platform where all the verticals of the critical utility services of the construction industry forge into one formidable group that will strive in building unity, aid in diffusing misconceptions, and present itself as a platform for discussions amongst these bodies of professionals. Our efforts begin with drawing the strength from the fields of architecture, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, safety, fire, security, illumination, vertical transportation, IBMS and IT, solid waste management, and last but not the least, facility management. Bring them together and forge them into one strong wheel of change to deliver structures that stand in harmony with Mother Nature on planet Earth. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is our mission. Only when we come together and share our ideas and aspirations will we find the stumbling blocks. It is here then that when we are together and focused towards one goal, we will jointly be able to understand and address our challenges as one formidable force. And this is our vision. our invitation to you is open. Come and become a part of Focus. It is your contribution and support to Focus that will make a difference to the new India that is being created. Let's join and make this the Bharat that we wear. Shining, prosperous, bright, and a true world leader.
Thank you, Shilpa. Thank you for playing that video. Yeah, Focus, as you have understood, we are complementing all professionals from different fields to how do we integrate and give a comfort to the user. So I'm sure that those who are joined in will get more details about Focus. We'll be putting on the chat about the Focus website and contact details. I would request every professionals to come forward, especially from Chennai, because this is Chennai program. Kindly come and join, support our chairman, Mr. Balakrishnan, in creating our vision and mission possible. So today's subject is green and net zero buildings. There are many programs happening across the country. You know, there's a lot of buzz on this. Earlier it was smart cities, and today we're talking about green buildings and net zero buildings. Creating green and net zero buildings in India requires a holistic approach that considers both environmental and social factor. It's a crucial step towards achieving a sustainable and resilient buildings. And today we are going to listen to our expert, Anand Muthukrishnan, and how do we achieve this? What are the key components to achieve this? So today we'll have a wonderful session on the subject that we are covering today. To move forward, I would like to welcome our Chennai chapter chairman, Mr. Balakrishnan. Before that, I would like to introduce I'm the host for the day today. My name is Dominic. Founding many societies, and FSA spent my 19 years in developing that, and now a Focus. Then we have something very interesting, very close to my heart, Indian Society for Brave Hearts, to identify the common man who sacrificed his life in saving someone unknown life. It could be an auto rickshaw driver, it could be a ordinary worker. So how do you bring him? So we are created this society called Indian Society for Brave Hearts. And again, recently we founded the National Federation of Engineers for Electrical Safety under the leadership of Mr. Gopakumar. This is about myself, and we have our chairman, Mr. Balakrishnan, Vice President and Head of MEP of L&D Construction. He has over 36 years of experience in handling various projects in construction segment. And in L&T, over 26 years, I'm responsible for design MEP areas related to commercial building and airports. Some of the prestigious projects to name upon data centers of Nextra Data Center, Pune, NPSI, Chennai, Hyderabad, airports and hangars. Okay, Bangalore Airport, he's been responsible, Kannur Airport and C-17 hangar. IT Park, TCS, Wipro, Motorola, hospital, look at the giant Apollo Hospital, Myout, and Odisha Medical Hospitals, malls, all the best of malls he has, stadium, which is very specialized, projects, hockey stadium in Hyderabad, Poteria Cricket Stadium in Ahmedabad, statues, Statue of Unity, which is one of the biggest and tallest in the world. So he is part of it. An international Salalah Airport, Les Palace Exhibition Center in Mauritius. And yesterday he's wearing the hat of chairman of Focus, and we are all expecting Mr. Balakrishnan to drive and bring all the professions together and make Chennai chapter a model chapter and the leading chapter in the country. That's Mr. Balakrishnan for you. And today's speaker, Mr. Anand Muthakrishnan, Deputy Director of IGBC. He's been elected as Vice Chairman of World Green Building Council, Asia Pacific Regional Network, APN, on 1st July 2021. He's a green building professional at CII, Saurabhji Godrej Green Business Center, located at Hyderabad, India. He's a senior team member of CII's Indian Green Building Council since 1996, for a long year. So he has work experience over 30 years. Anand is closely involved in facilitating governments, architects, developers, corporates, institutions in designing green building as per IGBC's green building rating systems. He shares India's perspective on green buildings and built environment at World Green Building Council forums and has attended many meetings and sessions. If you look at all the three people, everybody has over 25, 30 years of experience. I'm sure with this experience and collective intellectual, we can add many more laurels to Focus. So what I understand from Mr. Balakrishnan, every month we will have different topic that will attract the interest of built environment. I also have our General Secretary, Mr. Ravi Shankar Tandavan, based out of Chennai, who will be giving the vote of thanks and is, probably give you a little bit more about the vision and mission of Focus at the end. So I now give the stage to our chairman, Mr. Balakrishnan. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Dominic. It was a great introduction of Focus and what we want to do, what we want to achieve. And Vanakkam, Namaskaram, and good morning from Focus team to all the people who are participating in this and who will communicate our vision to their friends, professionals, and other people outside. Okay, as Focus already explained, we want to integrate all the professionals and give something to the country. To the country, to yourself, to your organizations, to the people who are coming across you. They all have to live a very sustainable life in this planet. So I think that is why we chose this as the first topic, the country where we can contribute for our future generations and for us also to live happily in this planet. Okay, so that is why this net zero and green building has been chosen. And we were all talking green, previously, and we were always thinking it's difficult to achieve. But I think under the leadership of IGBC from India, a lot of things have been achieved in this country faster than what other countries have done. And similarly, the new buzz is the net zero, where we'll have to save energy, save water, and save the planet. Okay, and save the country from getting destroyed by this climate changes. So we are all part of it. We need to contribute to this. And that is why, we've chosen the horse's mouth, let me put it, IGBC and Mr. Anand, who else can give us the guideline. And this is just a guideline. We are going to have bigger programs for net zero. We were all talking, Mr. Ravi Shankar Tandavan, Dominic, and all of us were talking. We are going to go big on this net zero awareness for the people, for the professionals to follow. And having said that, we need to implement it. That is why we are having this educational series from the people, from experts. We are also knowing some of it, but as an integrated team from all services, because Focus, is trying to integrate all the services and give a solution as a total solution. And everything should be integrated to make it work. That is the whole idea. And Focus is doing this to educate people across the country and then create awareness so that we follow the best practices, and we also can represent to the governments or to the other agencies what are the best practices to be followed. I mean, that is the idea of thing. So from Chennai, we are trying to do our best. And as he said, every month I will be selecting, or our team will be selecting a unique topic so that we can communicate that to the society and professionals. And all views are welcome from everybody. We can make it stronger and stronger. I request all the people who are listening to get more members to participate in Focus as a journey. And with that few words, I would like to request Mr. Anand to take over and deliver the important topic on net zero, mostly on the net zero. Green building, yes, he will touch upon it, but he's a very talented person. If you see his biodata, which Dominic has read, he is also a Guinness Book of World Record holder. Okay, so something unique. So that's the sort of person we got for today's educational series. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Balakrishnan. House rule, those who are listening on this webinar, I would request you to post your question answer to the speaker and the moderator only in the Q&A box. Don't type it on the chat box, because chat will not be able to hold your conversation for future queries. So I would request everyone to put your question only on a Q&A box. And I would request to have patience to wait till the end, because question answer is what will be more engaging and more enlightening. So I would request everyone to stay with us till the end. Over to Mr. Anand.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Dominic. Thank you, Mr. Balakrishnan, and the entire Focus Chennai chapter members, and a large number of participants who are turned up on a Saturday morning to listen to us about green and net zero buildings. In fact, I'm very glad to be associated with the L&T and Mr. Balakrishnan and team for the last 20-25 years of my experience in CI. So we in IGBC once again thank Focus Chennai chapter for inviting IGBC to share what we are doing with the support of all the stakeholders. So the Indian Green Building Council is spearheading the green and net zero buildings, which is the need of the hour since 2001. Mr. Dominic, can you confirm whether my slides are visible and I'm audible before if?
Yes.
Yes. Perfect. Everything is perfect.
Thank you. So I will touch upon briefly about IGBC. Many of you may be aware, but if you are not aware, I will spend a couple of minutes, then we'll go into the technicalities. So about Indian Green Building Council, the Indian Green Building Council, popularly known as IGBC, is formed by CII, which is an 126-year-old Apex Industry Association in year 2001. So when the green buildings were not so popular in our own country. So the vision of the Indian Green Building Council is to enable sustainable built environment for all. When we say all, this goes beyond human beings. Every living being on the planet Earth is very, very important for our own sustenance. That's what Mr. Balakrishnan also mentioned about how do we save energy, water, waste, and provide a much more greener spaces for our own children and their children and children to be born. So that is a huge canvas of vision which has been articulated by stakeholders like you, which gives enormous amount of energy every single day for us in IGBC to work on. In the process, we want India to become one of the global leaders in sustainable built environment by 2025. So that is a vision with which we all work in IGBC. And we are also a very proud member of a founding member of the World Green Building Council, especially after the COP in Paris Agreement. World Green Building Council is able to bring in enormous amount of attention in the last 5 or 7 years. After the Paris Agreement, 80 countries are represented as a part of the World Green Building Council, from Australia to Americas on the other side. So whatever we do in India is represented only by IGBC, the Indian Green Building Council. IGBC is the founding member of World Green Building Council. So that is a very brief. So this is our own center in Hyderabad, wherein Mr. Balakrishnan, L&T, and all the leading architects and consultants, all of them are partners in this particular project in Hyderabad, which is the CII Swarabji Godrej Green Business Center in Hyderabad, which has been rated or awarded as the platinum rating, first platinum rated building in year 2003. And it has been awarded as the world's greenest building in year 2003. wherein this building belongs to all the stakeholders, the government, architect, MEP services, engineers, consultants, manufacturers, PMCs, and a common man also. So this building, our own IGBC headquarters in Hyderabad, which has been rated as the world's greenest building in year 2003, has been inaugurated by then His Excellency Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Saab, President of India, on 14th of July 2004. After that, we have never looked back. So the President of India inaugurating it. A couple of days ago, the India has also achieved 10 billion square feet, which has been unveiled and announced by President of India again, actually. President of India 2 days ago in New Delhi, Honorable President of India announced and released and launched IGBC, facilitating India achieve its first 10 billion square feet of registered green building footprint. So this is how the modern contemporary green building movement started. So before I go ahead with what is the green buildings and net zero, here I would love to set the platform or set the tone by saying what exactly we mean by green buildings. Because now many of you are very familiar, but when we started in year 2001, people thought green building is all about greenery in and around the landscape, or painting the external wall with a green color paint, or going for a green tinted glass on the envelope. So I do love the color green as far as the glass and the wall and the paints are concerned, but as far as IGBC is concerned, a green building should go beyond the color of a glass and the color of a paint or a color of or the area of the landscape. So as far as IGBC is concerned, green building is the one which uses less water during construction and during occupancy. Number two, a green building is the one which optimizes energy efficiency. 3, conserves natural resources. 4th, it consumes less waste or generates less waste during construction as well as during operational phase. 5th, but last but not the least, is a green building is the one which provides much more healthier spaces for people. In fact, the focus stands for Forum for Critical Utility Services. In my opinion, tongue in cheek, you have to pardon me if you are not agreeing. So every utility and every utility services is critical for me, and it touches all of them. You talk about water, you talk about energy, you talk about preserving natural resources, generating less waste, and providing a much more healthier space. Focus and its vision is completely in alignment with IGBC, and you all play a vital role. That is what I see from this particular focus perspective. So when we started this movement 22 years ago, the majority of the focus was only on energy efficiency. We used to discuss hours together, days together, months together, only on enhancing the energy efficiency. Energy is important, but like what we have 5 fingers in our palm, the Indian Green Building Council, IGBCs, all the rating programs are holistic, integrated, addressing the 5 major areas on the sustainability. Number 1, how do I select a site and plan it? Plan my entire building design, construction, and operation. Number 2 is on water conservation. Number 3 is on energy efficiency. Number 4 is on building material and resources. 5th is on indoor environmental quality. Now, many of us are talking about indoor environmental quality after the pandemic of COVID-19. Whereas right from 2001 onwards, our focus is on indoor environmental quality. So if we go into the details, it is not at all a rocket science. And we will not say that IGBC has invented or discovered green buildings. Our own great-great-grandfathers, thousands and thousands of years ago, India has a rich culture, what we call it as the 5 elements of nature or Panchaputas. Every day on a spiritual world also, the moment I get up in the morning, I look towards the east and pray to the sun. So that is how the 5 elements of nature, Prithvi, Jal, Agni, Vayu, and Akash. So that is what is completely aligned with our own rating programs, or we are aligned with our own ancient wisdom and ethos. It is like for us in IGBC, it is like a rediscovery of our own ancient Indian ethos. So that is the reason we in IGBC believe, or we in India believe, green buildings are not new to us, especially the places of worship, which I am a very big fan. Whether you go to a temple or a church or a mosque or a Gurudwara, which has been constructed before air conditioners were invented. Why air conditioners? Even before electricity was invented. Some of them have been constructed in the 10th and 9th centuries. They will stand tall forever, actually. So India has a rich culture, heritage, and tradition. So what we are trying to do from IGBC is, by engaging stakeholders like you, we would love to showcase how the tradition and the technology can coexist. We are not saying no to technology, and we cannot rest on the past laurels. The buildings are becoming too tall. The requirements are becoming more and more demanding, highly flexible, highly varying in nature with respect to the building spaces, the lighting, the air conditioner, security, all of that. So how do we ensure that the tradition and technology, modern, innovative technology can coexist in buildings and built environment? That is how we started. So as I said earlier, what it started as a one building, that is IGBC's headquarters, with a only very small building, 20,000 square feet building. Now with the support of all the stakeholders, as on today, India has more than 10,220 plus projects. For example, one other project, the L&T campus where Mr. Balakrishnan sits, I keep visiting every single visit of mine in Chennai is not complete without visiting him. They have multiple towers or buildings within that project. It may appear like that is also one of the IGBC rated green campus. So it may appear like one project, but it is a multiple towers, tens of acres of a project. So very recently, as I said, yesterday or day before, we crossed India achieving 10.22 billion. I repeat, it's not million, 10.22 billion square feet adopting IGBC's rating program. So this we worked with the vision mode for the 8 years ago itself. In 2014-15, we have set it as when India is celebrating its 75th year of independence, India should contribute 10 billion square feet of green building spaces adopting IGBC rating program to the whole world. And we want India to be made Jagat Guru in the sustainability. So with all the support and overwhelming response, what we are getting or got from all our stakeholders, be it government, architects, MEP consultants, manufacturers, suppliers, and common man. So India is able to achieve 10 billion square feet very recently. So this is a very, very proud moment for all of us. The entire World Green Building Council across the country, they are all appreciating the India's achievement and India's commitment towards climate change, mitigation and adaptation measures to reverse the climate crisis. This is one element, which is the buildings and built environment are able to showcase green buildings are possible, the green and net zero buildings are possible. The full credit goes to the stakeholders like Focus and members and all the Indian construction industry stakeholders. So IGBC is the only council in the whole world which has 31 different rating programs, because you all agree, the members like you only said that we are building, as you heard from Mr. Balakrishnan, who has a rich experience in data center, hangars, airports, and statues. So every building typology's requirements are different. Airport is different from data center. Data center is different from a residential building. Within residential building, affordable project is different from a luxury villa. So that is the reason we have IGBC has 31 different rating programs to suit every building typology. So I'll not go into the details because Mr. Balakrishnan has given me only 45 minutes. This is like a T20 cricket match actually. So literally I'll be running through it. Pardon me for that, but I'm always available for every question now or later on in any other forum or Focus also. So to put it in a nutshell, we are focusing on the net zero from 2017 onwards. So we are the first one to launch the net zero energy in the whole world on the net zero energy, net zero water, net zero waste. Then commercial buildings, residential buildings, transit facilities, world's first rating program on metro rail. The entire metro rail authorities, including the Chennai Metro and the Namma Metro in Bangalore, they all adopted the world-class IGBC rating program on green metros, the railway stations, the educational campuses like the schools as well as the colleges, the industrial units, health and well-being. We are speaking for the several years. So to put it in a nutshell, places where we live, stay, learn, work, play, transit, or shop, like retail malls, and to worship. The places of worship is also adopting IGBC's rating programs to further enhance the sustainability. So the initial 10 years from 2001 to 10 years, we focused more on the individual buildings, both existing and the new. Based on the rich experience, we have started moving into the townships. For example, Mahindra World City in Chennai or Dholera cities. Got into the cities, the greenfield, then the transit like airports, metros. Then we are also started working on the villages. So that is how we moved from buildings to built environment based on the strong foundation what we laid. So what is the benefit we get? So again, full credit goes to the Focus members or the MEP consultants and the building occupants and the asset management group. every building which has adopted IGBC's Green Building Rating Program. For example, a commercial rating program, I would love to quote 1 million square feet of a commercial office space which has adopted IGBC's rating program is consuming 15,000 megawatt of electrical energy less when compared to the conventional building on an annual basis. So the annual energy consumption is lower by 15,000 megawatt hour per million square feet of a commercial office space. Same is the case with water savings. 45,000 kiloliters of water is saved or consumed less when compared to the conventional building per million square feet in a commercial office project. So this is an enormous amount of energy reduction, tremendous water savings has resulted in the GHG, the greenhouse gas emission, the whole world is talking about. Mr. Dominic also mentioned about it is becoming like a peak summer already. The summer has arrived very early in the February. So the climate crisis and the climate adoption, the Bangalore said 30 degrees. The same Bangalore witnessed enormous amount of rainfall intensity a couple of months ago. The most of the apartments and villas and others got flooded. So we are seeing the extremes in the weather pattern. So the greenhouse gas emissions has to be brought down. So the green buildings also, for example, 1 million square feet of IGBC certified projects, since it is consuming less energy, less water during operational phase, they are able to reduce to the tune of 14,000 to 12,000 to 14,000 tons per million square feet of GHG emissions are being brought down. So this is the benefit of going green with IGBC. So the full credit, as I said, goes to the entire Indian construction industry stakeholders. So we do have a monitoring system which measures and monitors and validates. So by adopting all the 30 different rating programs across 2,000 or 3,000 odd certified buildings which are operational now, they are able to save around 15 billion electrical units, almost 50 billion liters of water, 13 million tons of CO2 emissions has been brought down as far as the rating programs are concerned. So that is the overview about IGBC. Now we move on to the topic which has been given to me, IGBC's green and net zero rating programs. Net zero carbon, straight away we cannot jump into that because India being a very diverse country where the priorities are, we need housing for all, we need more and more manufacturing facility, hospitals, and the infrastructure like the roads, airports, as well as providing very many basic services. So that is the reason IGBC, with the support of government and all the stakeholders, we have taken a step-by-step approach. Our focus is on net zero energy to start with, then net zero water, net zero waste. Eventually, we'll end up in a net zero carbon because still we import enormous amount of oil and coal from elsewhere. So energy efficiency is the mother of entire green building rating programs. So that is the reason we started with the buildings and built environment becoming a net zero energy buildings to start with. Again, with 1.4 billion people, India becoming the most populous country in the whole world, water is always a challenge, especially as the summer months are approaching. It becomes a challenge in many cities and villages also. So the net zero water is also ensuring that how do we conserve less water, how do we consume less water and conserve enormous amount of water which is available for common man and others beyond our boundaries of our building project. Waste has become a big topic, and it has become a big challenge for many cities and towns actually. Handling the waste is becoming a more and more challenge. So how in the ancient wisdom in India, we always have a proverb, there's nothing called waste in the nature. What I consider as a waste becomes a resource for somebody or some other process. So that is how we wanted to bring in an ancient wisdom in order to integrate with the contemporary and more innovative solutions, how the waste can be handled in a much better way on the net zero waste rating program for the buildings and built environment, eventually on the net zero carbon. You can log on to igbc.in for more details if I'm not able to get into the micro level. So as I said, India's first net zero rating program is again a holistic and integrated and consensus-based rating program launched by the Honorable Minister, Mr. Hardeep Singh Puri, in our own IGBC's Green Building Congress. The rating program evaluates a performance-based approach, and it is comprehensive and holistic. And here again, it is not that when we say net zero energy, if my building is not energy efficient at all, still it consuming 1 billion electrical units per annum, but I have a huge land money so that I can put a huge solar farm so that I can generate the entire 1 billion electrical units from the solar PV, and I cannot call that building as a net zero building. Here, the IGBC's net zero buildings rating programs approaches by bringing in enormous amount of interventions in an existing building, or by design bringing in a greenfield project in a innovative, cutting edge, futuristic technology, so that my energy demand comes to the lowest ever possible. Energy demand should be the lowest ever possible. Then, having brought the demand to the lowest ever possible, then you're looking for the renewable energy sources within the site or off-site. So this is a very unique approach of IGBC's net zero energy buildings. So which makes enormous amount of impact. So as you are able to see, as I said, out of the 100 credit points available, 75% of the credit points, that is 75 credit points, are being awarded for the enhancing the energy efficiency through the passive and active systems. This is where the focus members are also play a very, very vital role. Only 25% of them is given to the renewable energy sources. So this is a very uniqueness. So the overall approach of the net zero energy buildings encourages both passive measures to start with respect to the newly built environment. You can bring in the orientation can be beautifully done. The envelope measures like the wall, the glazing, the roof, all of that plays a vital role in a greenfield project. In an existing project, this becomes a bigger challenge because the opportunities are not there to change the orientation. But still, with the modern lightweight construction materials and technology available, the envelope shading devices, sajjas, or the roofs can be treated in an existing building also. Here again, the more focus is on active systems. That is where again focus members play a vital role in enhancing the energy efficiency on air conditioning, 2 on lighting, 3rd on the controls, auxiliaries, appliances, and renewable energy sources. So this is the overall approach which makes enormous amount of greater impact on bringing down the energy consumption and enhancing the energy efficiency. Enhancing the energy efficiency is very, very important for all of us. So literally, I'll run through the top 10 net zero or a green building features implemented in alignment with IGBC net zero energy buildings. So one, nowadays, many projects are able to use the energy modeling software or the BIM, and various other softwares are available. For example, on the topmost photograph you see of a same building in Bangalore, the Berries Global Research Triangle, which is an IGBC platinum rated. You see the facade, east and west are different and completely different from north facade. And it is completely different from south. India being a tropical country, where I am staying in Hyderabad, our offices, 17° north is the latitude. So 17° north latitude, north side of the building brings an enormous amount of light, but not the heat into the building through the sunlight. Whereas the southern side and the east and the west may bring in enormous amount of light and heat. So that is the reason in the south, we don't want to have more and more openings or the glass. If at all it is there, it has to be a well-designed high-performance glasses, which allows only the light, but not the heat into my system. So that has been done very beautifully using the various software tools. Even before you break the ground or offer a Bhumi Puja, using the software tools, which has become very handy, we can be able to predict how my building is going to operate on a particular sunny day or a winter month or in the middle of the night on an IT park or whatever it is. So it is able to bring in all the, so IGBC rating program encourages using these kind of a software tools to further enhance the energy efficiency, which are all aligned with the local climatic conditions. So for example, if I'm constructing a building project in Chennai's 100 years, last 100 years, what was the temperature, relative humidity, the rainfall, the wind velocities, and the Rose diagrams of the wind pattern within my project. These are all implemented or referred when I do this energy modeling software as a part of the IGBC certification process. Next is on envelope. Based on the IGBC's holistic approach, these are all all that should add the design, the parameters, and the thermal parameters of the wall, glass, or a roof. All should add value to the building utility as well as to the application or the way in which the building is being operated. So we go into the details, very, very micro level at the what should be the window to wall ratio, and how we select high performance glasses based on the U value, the shading coefficient, and visual light transmittance how the solar photovoltaics can be integrated as part of the wall or a glazing, all that you will see. I'm just naming few of them. How the roofs can be insulated or cool roofs by applying a layer of a high solar reflective index paint. How the roof can become much better. It will not allow the heat to bring in. Or you're able to see in the photograph a lightweight fabrics. They are able to provide a much beautiful shading device so that the heat doesn't come into my building. And this also gives a beautiful aesthetical look of my envelope also. So the glasses, the envelope, we are able to bring in enormous amount of change and tectonic change so that we are able to bring in a better envelope based on the climatic condition as well as the utility and the application of the building actually. So the IGBC rating program also encourages passive measures like wind tower, earth-air tunneling, geothermal cooling, as well as wherever it is not possible, especially Chennai, Mumbai, and Calcutta. For an air conditioning engineer, it is not the temperature. The humidity in Chennai, Calcutta, and Mumbai are upwards of 80%, or on a monsoon day, it touches 90% and above. Handling humidity is the biggest challenge. So there we are forced to go for a conventional systems. How good we can able to bring in hybrid models. That's what we in IGBC encourage our rating program. But nevertheless, wherever possible, the cities like Bangalore, Pune, Dehradun, and wherever feasible, we are able to bring in passive cooling measures. For example, this is in Gulbarga, the first government office to adopt IGBC's rating program. The wind towers, what you see, they are all having a passive draft evaporative cooling system, which entirely cools that entire office space. The bottommost picture, you are able to see the Eureka Fobs manufacturing facility in Dehradun, wherein the entire earth-air tunnel is there, having a huge hume pipe buried below the factory complex behind this office project. So this is what I'm talking about. So these are the features that have been already operational. Here in Hyderabad, wherever the soil conditions are all feasible, in one of the villa project, luxury villa project, they are pre-cooling the entire ambient air, which is being circulated amongst this villas actually. So there is an earth-air tunnel. Systems are also available, or adiabatic systems, which are also able to bring in enhance the air conditioning performance, and retrofitting the pumps, the old pumps and primary and secondary, or every pump for that matter, with super efficient IE3 motors. Now the variable frequency drives has become the order of the day, especially for the pumps and fans connected with the air conditioning systems and the AHU fans, the air handling units. So this is again a case study where the 2 numbers of ambienters have been installed in an office spaces as well as on the factories. Here again, radiant cooling, which has been spearheaded by Infosys campus in Pocharam. Several years ago, they took a trial in one of the blocks in Infosys campus in Pocharam. Before pouring the concrete in the slabs, they have buried all the red color pipes, which you are able to see, which carries the chilled water. So we call it as a chilled beam actually. Instead of having a conventional system, the entire slab above our head is cooled, and we call it as a chilled beam. Cogeneration, the large scale projects like Gift City or stadiums, where they have gone for a cogeneration, wherein the entire hot water requirement, as well as the air conditioning requirement, as well as the power generation is happening with this cogeneration system. Wherever gas is available, feasible, with economics also, they are able to run it. And the solar air conditioning is also becoming more and more popular. Rather than using it for the solar hot water application alone, they are able to connect with the vapor absorption machines for air conditioning. So this is one of the projects which has been IGBC certified as done. And district cooling, for a very long time, last 30 years, we have seen many only in the journals or happening in the Europe and the developed country. Now it is up and running in many projects, including the Gift City, which is having the entire services for that city, is right from the water, chill water, everything is generated in one centralized location, and the entire service tunnels are all over the entire Gift City, to name a few. And Olympia Tech Park, it is a 1.8 million square feet in Chennai, which is an IGBC platinum rated existing building. So which is a classical example, because Chennai Municipal Corporation will not give the water for the cooling tower makeup in a commercial project. So there they are done. Every droplet of the black and the gray water is recycled. The treated water is used for the cooling tower makeup to start with. Then second is for the irrigation within the office project. Third is for the flushing application, wherever there is no human contact. the entire treated water is given to the plumbing lines exclusively. This has been done very beautifully in a project in the middle of a Chennai city, and then large 1.8 million square feet, single monolithic project, single monolithic. Again, as far as the lighting is concerned, we are the first one to bring in the concept of the lighting power density, popularly known as LPD. Lower the better, the watts per square feet. When we started, it used to be 2.53 watts per square feet. Now people are talking about 0.5, 0.6 watts per square feet with the usage of LED, with the usage of controls, with the usage of building management systems, occupancy sensors, as well as complementing with the daylight whenever it is available. So this has been done in many projects, integrating with the high performance glasses, which brings in more daylight deep inside the office also, as plays a role in achieving the lower lighting power densities. So here again, we are able to bring in enormous amount of innovation in terms of bringing in a skylight, providing the daylights and the views, which brings in more light to the space actually. It is not that we wanted to focus only on the energy efficiency and the water bill coming down. How the Green Building Rating Program encourages the designers, consultants, and the service consultants to bring in more life to the buildings and the built environment. For example, these are all the live pictures, the courtyards, the meeting rooms, they are all lit with beautiful daylights, provides more views and brings more and more freshness, which is also equally important, apart from reducing the energy demand. So we do encourage more and more innovative renewable energy sources to come in. For example, a factory building on the roof, they are able to integrate the solar PV and the north light glazing very beautifully. It looks like a jigsaw actually. So north facing has the glass to bring in a daylight, south facing of that roof material has the solar PV. Solar farms are becoming popular. Even a small car shed in a big time IT parks or a two-wheeler parking, they are able to get inspired with the butterfly wings, which carries a solar PV to charge the electric driven vehicles. This has been done very beautifully. So IGBC rating program is not only promoting on the enhancing energy efficiency in this way, we also want to bring in more and more sustainable designs, aesthetics, and bring in more and more innovation also. Micro wind turbines in one of the projects in Pune, the skylights, and even in one of the Delta Power in Rudrapur, the wall, it looks like a black color wall on the picture on the left-hand side, whereas it is actually a solar PV on the wall actually. So building integrated solar PV, even a Bangalore Puma showroom in Indiranagar, instead of having a conventional canopy, they have gone for a solar PV integrated canopy or a shading device. So these are all the innovations we are able to bring in as far as renewable energy is concerned. Our own building, though we have got the world's greenest building title in year 2003, we are not rested on the plastic laurels. We have improved upon on the LEDs for the entire lighting system, then air chillers, the air conditioning systems, as well as on the cooling towers and the pumps and the BMS. Everything we have refined and brought the best energy efficiency and reduced the energy demand to the lowest ever possible. Then we have installed the country's first bifacial solar PV to the tune of 140 kilowatt. The solar PVs are on both the sides. Again, this is a demonstration project. We are not saying that every project should go for it. Here it is a demonstration project and it is very successful. So 140 kilowatt bifacial solar PV coupled with various energy efficient measures we have done. IGBC headquarters has become a net zero energy building. In fact, during the COVID, the occupancy was not so high. So we have generated more energy than we require and exported to the grid. So tongue in cheek, and I can say that it is a net zero positive building. So IGBC rating program not only encourages us to do less of bad, it encourages us to do more of good. When you do more of good, you land up in not only net zero, it will become a net positive on your electric bill, water bills, as well as on the climatic conditions also. So next is on the offsite renewable energy is also encouraged. People are investing enormous amount of money on the solar farms or the windmills away from our office, as well as the BMS, IoT of things. For example, very recently, a Sierra ODC, a facility in Coimbatore, which has got enormous amount of IoT of things, artificial intelligence coming in play in order to consume less energy without compromising on the lighting levels, air conditioning, whether it is a 24 plus or minus 2 degrees centigrade or 50% RH, has to be maintained. It is not that we are going to compromise on the lighting levels. 300 lux levels should be met on my working office plane. So without compromising on the lighting level, air conditioning level, we have to consume less energy. That is the beauty about IGBC's green and net zero rating programs. So the artificial intelligence and IoT of things are being encouraged. So we do bring in enormous amount of innovations on the air conditioning systems. The flywheel technology is being done. Underfloor ventilation, which was done only for the server rooms, are becoming more popular nowadays. So as we all know that you are all experts in the air conditioning system. So the cold air should enter from the bottom of my feet, cool myself, take the heat out of from me, then go to the top and then get into the plenum or in the return air duct. So that saves enormous amount of energy and enhances the comfort level also. So this is becoming more and more popular nowadays. There were from few challenges, it is all addressed by stalwarts like you. And low speed, high volume fans are becoming more and more popular in large factories, warehouses, and other facilities, manufacturing facilities also. So again, in order to enhance the energy efficiency, there are different models are coming up. Earlier, it was only the building owner to invest money. They were always worried about the capital expenditure, capex, and the apex. Green buildings and net zero buildings, though you may be investing relatively 2 to 3% more, you have a better return on investment. Now ESCOs are coming out and rental and lease models are becoming more and more popular. Boot model is also trying to come inside. So there are enormous amount of ways and means of enhancing the energy efficiency in an existing or in a new building project also. So I'll not go into the details of net zero building, our own building. These are all we don't talk through our hat or through the thin air. We all have all the data. How much is my consumption? How much is my generation from the solar PV? We track it. It is not only our own building. There are more than 60 projects which are adopting net zero right in Mumbai, the warehouses, big, large IT campuses in Bangalore, or a training center of ICICI Foundation in the middle of a desert in Rajasthan. So they're all adopting net zero certified. Net zero water is also very, very important. So here the definition goes, net zero water buildings of IGBC are the one which consume minimal raw water and they produce alternate water to meet the balance requirement. So that is how the definition goes. I will not attempt to get into these details. So we encourage going in for ultra low flow fixtures, both the flush and the flow fixtures, be it a urinal, showers, or a tap. Go to the irrigation, which are all native, and then go for a 100% gray and the black water treatment, and the treated water can be used very effectively. The 15 billion liters per annum may look very small. When I say this is the amount of water saved in IGBC certified 3000 projects, whereas there is a requirement of a 2 months water requirement of a big metro city like Hyderabad. And here again, one of the early projects of Shobha developers in Trichur in Kerala, they are the first one to adopt IGBC's net zero water rating program. And they have very many different features. They are working with three different plumbing lines or 4 levels nowadays. They have a beautiful STP which treats treated waters used for the landscaping, water metering, and irrigation channels. Next is on the waste. Here again, this is beautifully developed by the support of stakeholders like you. Here again, we would love to encourage diversion of the waste getting into the landfill. We don't want even a 1 milligram of waste getting into the landfill. So it should be a nature-centric design, reducing the debris generated at construction. Definitely, we may not be eliminated, so we are able to reduce it. Then, having generated less debris also, how do we handle it more responsibly and recycle it wherever possible or upcycle it wherever it can be applied without compromising on the safety and security? So here again, we encourage green procurement by using the IGBC's Green Pro certified logos. These are some of the projects that they implemented. For example, this project of Eicher Volvo, they had taken the old railway sleepers. Railway sleepers earlier used to be 20, 30 years ago, used to be made out of beautiful wood actually. They used it in a high-rise building in Gurgaon. For the first skin of the building, the railway sleepers, which are already exposed to the worst ambient conditions, has been used here in a modern building actually. So this is how we are able to do it. There are hundreds of examples. And as an individual also, who's listening, almost 200 participants are listening to us. Whenever you are even buying a small paint can during a Shankranti or a Pongal or any repainting of your house, or even you are painting, you are buying one cement bag, please look for this logo, Green Pro of IGBC. Green Pro stands for green product, which is not only energy friendly, environment friendly, they are all people friendly products. So the people friendly products are encouraged by the Green Pro rating program. 6,000 products are available in the market now. So be it steel, paint, cement, adhesive, sealants, all of them, you name it, all of them are available, which are all Green Pro certified. So the list goes on and on. 90% of the building materials can be sourced from a Green Pro certified. All our activities are aligned with the government of India's commitment on India becoming a net zero carbon emitter by 2070. So another uniqueness about IGBC is we are a technical team members within our office as well as the stakeholders. 500 professionals are available. And when we started in 2001, there are hardly 1 or 2 consultants handling IGBC projects. Today, 100 plus consulting firms are there handling projects across the country, all the 10,000 plus projects. Our way of doing the certification is very unique. We handle right from design to delivery of IGBC certification. We have trained more than 50,000 engineers and architects. We have 29 local chapters. We have a very vibrant chapter in Chennai and other places like Bangalore, other places across the country. 62 offices of CA makes us very unique. So by adopting IGBC's net zero rating programs and green rating programs, they are able to save 12 to 15 million tons of GHG emissions or CO2 emissions from this 3,000 buildings alone. So that is equivalent of 14 million cars emissions from a fossil fuel driven cars emissions. That is equivalent of it knocking off. So we are also coming to Chennai in a very big way. Since I'm addressing in a focus Chennai chapter initiative, the Green Building Congress, which is an Asia's largest event on green buildings. Every year we move from one city to other. Last year was in Hyderabad. This year we are coming to Chennai after a long period of say 10 years. So it is there in Chennai Trade Center. Kindly block your diary from 23rd, 24th and 25th of November 23. We request all the focus members and all the participants to be part of the Green Building Congress. Again, the theme is advancing net zero buildings and built environment. So to sum it up, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to sum it up by the quote of our late chairman, Dr. Premsi Jain, who is an authority on the entire MEP and the entire, he is considered as the Bhishma Pitama of Indian green building movement. Quote unquote, he said, if we can change the way you think about building, maybe what you build will change the world. I repeat, if we can change the way you think about building, maybe what you build will change the world. Dr. late Premsi Jain, chairman of IGBC. So the whole world is moving towards net zero. Net zero is the future. We in IGBC, with the support of all the stakeholders, are spearheading the net zero movement also. Especially the next 8 years, my humble request is, before we reach 2030, all the new building projects which are coming from now till 2030, we should all aspire for IGBC net zero energy, net zero water, net zero waste. And then that will make India a real Jagat Guru on the sustainability. We will make Bharat a Jagat Guru on sustainability. So let us all go green. So the 100 team members of IGBC in Hyderabad and across the country are all available for every focus member and the participants who are all listening to us. For any support or any information, we'll be more than happy to be a part of it. For more queries, you can write to me or log on to our website and get the resources. Thank you, Mr. Balakrishnan. Thank you, Mr. Dominic. And thank you, Focus, for giving us a wonderful opportunity to share our experience and the collective work what we are doing in the IGBC on green and net zero buildings. So over to you, Mr. Dominic.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Anand. What a wonderful session. Very simple, very effective communication that you have made with audience. Wonderful, very eye-opening session that we had. I could see a lot of appreciation coming in while you're addressing on this subject. Net zero. What you said is, let make Bharat the leader in green and net zero. Yes, with the support of our Prime Minister initiatives and in hand with Focus, we will commit ourselves to make our nation a net zero nation. This is our dream, and I'm sure the dream of everyone. So moving forward, there are a few questions. Ladies and gentlemen, those who have questions on this subject today we covered, please post it in the Q&A. We have around 10 questions now. So please, we will have another 15-20 minutes attending your question before our General Secretary comes on and addressing. So Let me take the first question from Dr. Srikant Narayan Swami. Needed some help regarding net zero water building as a project. Next phase is make our college a net zero water campus. Dr. Srikant, I will let our chairman or the Anand to give you an answer for this. Anand, you want to take this?
Yeah. With the permission of Balakrishnan and you.
Yeah.
See, absolutely, Dr. Srikant will be more than happy to share what we are doing. Or one, what is a net zero water building? I will share that immediately. My email ID I put in. So you talk to me. We'll be more than happy to share our rating program. Number two, your project or a college, how you wanted to make it, we'll be more than happy. Because the campus building where hundreds of engineers, thousands of engineers are there, becoming a net zero, they'll be able to see all this improvement right under their nose. Then their conviction on net zero and energy or water will become all the more. So the answer is very big yes. For any support, soft support on the information, knowledge, how to do it, what are the technologies to be implemented in your campus, IGBC, that is Anand and the entire team will be available for you, Dr. Srikant Narayanaswamy.
Just to add on to Anand, Dr. Srikant, basically, if you want to achieve net zero water in a building, what you first, as he already addressed, you need to first find ways to reduce the consumption, make it more efficient, whatever your consumption. And whatever is your consumption, the net zero water, what it defines is, you should not allow it to be wasted. You have to reverberate the atmosphere or whatever, the land or anything with the same amount of water which you are using. That's the idea of net zero. Suppose, for example, 100 cubic meter, I'm just telling, for example, you're using, you should be in a position to give back to the Bhumi or the earth 100 cubic meter of recharge. So to put it in a simple way. So there are various methods, as Anand said, that needs to be implemented.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Balakrishnan Anand, for that answer to the question. Sendil Vel, you are posting a lot of very important question on the chat box. I once again remind all the participants, chat box will not be useful for us to take up the question. Please post it in the Q&A because that will remain in our record. So please, post that questions, whatever you're typing on the chat box to Q&A box. So moving on to, again, Dr. Srikant Narayan, what is the rating criteria of each field?
Dr. Srikant, what do you mean by, I don't understand what do you mean by field? If you're talking about data center, metro, or railway station, that is your field means every building typology, we, when we engage the stakeholders to prepare a rating program, for example, metro, right from Delhi Metro Rail Authority, they are an MOE partner. So metro is different from an office. They have a station. In an office, we would love to provide facilities so that people can enjoy and stay for 8 hours. In a metro station, ideally speaking, Metro Rail Authority don't want the passenger to stay beyond 2 minutes. In a platform, they would love to push it into the train. You come out of the train and go out of the system. So it is a completely different scenario. So based on the building typology, for the metro, the viaduct, which cuts across the entire city or getting into underground stations are air conditioned. Accordingly, we develop the rating program and address the codes, how we can enhance the design element. For example, 100 acres of land is required for the entire precast for a metro stations to be done. So how the precast can generate less waste, how they transport it, how they minimally cut the trees in an existing city when the metro rail comes. When you are cutting trees first, where we don't have a choice, how we can plant more. If the regulation says, say, X number of plants saplings to be done for a cut tree, IGBC says more than that. So if I understood your question correctly, every rating program revolves around what is the building typology, how we are addressing it. Again, I'm keeping it simple. IGBC keep it simple. How it addresses on the site, water, energy, materials, and indoor air quality. Imagine, for example, you're working with the Chennai railway station, Central Railway Station. That is an ancient one. How it can become green? So there the idea is how the authorities can maintain a much more cleaner and safer place. How the commuter experience. Now you are looking in for a charging point, fresh air, seating facility, how the garbages, how the tracks can be more cleaner. So that is a commuter experience. So when I develop a rating program for a IGBC railway station, the focus is on, for the railway authority, I should consume less energy, less water. For the commuter experience is the biggest objective. How do I enhance the commuter experience with respect to the escalators, ramps for the differently able to people to access freely the entire platforms? All that is being addressed. So if I hope I answered your question, Dr. Srikanth. If it not, please call me. I will share my mobile number also.
So there's a question from anonymous attendees is asking, is there any IS, Indian standard number for green building codes for compliance?
See, we in IGBC encourage the National Building Code. The BIS team is also involved. For example, when I'm talking about a plumbing fixture or a structural, the safety and IS codes are beyond my code requirement. They are all paramount actually. So when you construct a metro column, what is the IS code required for the concrete grade, M40 grade of a concrete, or what is required? It is beyond the code's requirement. It is in alignment, it enhances. The answer is yes, yes.
Okay, Chinmay Shah has very basic questions. I think Mr. Balakrishnan can add to this. As a layman, if I have to build a green building, then what are the things should I consider? Is there any support from the government to build green building? Any technical support from IGBC to build green building? So both of you can attend this.
Yeah. So actually, when you have this, IGBC has released a lot of codes, codal things for different categories. And it specifies under a point system how to achieve minimum rating, gold, platinum, silver, those sort of ratings by doing certain things under each aspect, as he said, energy, water, and materials. It is for both pre-construction, post-construction, and during construction. All this is covered in that IGBC code that can be adopted to get that IGBC rating. Now, does government give encouragement? It gives encouragement, but it is not helping financially. If I'm right, correct me if I'm wrong, Anand. So it encourages, but it doesn't help financially for projects. But ultimately, you will be the beneficiary by saving energy and water for your own use. So that is how we need to take it up. Okay. So I hope I have answered your thing.
Yeah, absolutely right, Mr. Balakrishnan. To add on, since Mr. Chinmay Shah is asked about IGBC, the number one, as Mr. Balakrishnan said, it is very simple to understand. It's not rocket science. And very recently, 2 months ago, we launched a rating program called NEST. As you started up by layman, it's like a storybook you can read. Number two, when you wanted to construct a green home or whatever project you are having in mind, please write to us. We will handle you. What kind of an envelope, what kind of a measures, what kind of a products you should touch, so that with your vision of having a good building with your own requirements, IGBC technical team will be more than happy to provide you all the necessary information, support, soft support. Wherever you are, Chinmay Shah, please be in touch with us. I have put my mobile number and email ID on the chat box. You can call me for more details.
So, okay, Tushar is asking, where can we do IGBC Green Healthcare Facility Program? Any training available on IGBC Green Healthcare Facility?
Yeah, IGBC has launched an exclusive rating program for healthcare facilities. We are led by architect Dr. Chandrasekhar, who has designed most of the AIIMS and medical colleges across the country by involving more than 300 professionals involved in hospital sector. So there is a sector rating program is available. Many AIIMS and many hospitals across the country are certified, Mr. Tushar. For a training program, general IGBC Green Building Training Program happens every second week. You can visit our calendar. As far as a green hospital, once in 6 months or so, it will happen. If you want, I will share the old links, as well as when we conduct a healthcare, we will let you know.
Thank you. Chitra Lega, could you please throw light on floating solar panel?
See, we all found a way to install solar PVs on the roof. That was the only thing which we are doing for several years. Then we have found a very interesting elements in how do we place it on the roof or a wall, that we call it as a building integrated solar panel. Then many a projects, they have a water body or a huge rainwater harvesting pits are there, which runs into several square meters. So there is a water also. So water also evaporates. To avoid or minimize the water evaporation, somebody came with an idea how the panels can be floating around. So that is how the entire Narmada River in Sabarmati or in many projects across, that's the same panel with some precautions on the electrical connections and the connectors, which are all floating on a very minimal barrels itself, even in a crude way. Containers or chemical barrels can be tight packed with air so that it can float and provide a space which can float around the water body, cover the water body below, as well as it can generate energy also.
So Roshan is asking, a guy from the fire is saying, what fire suppression system did the green building concern adopt? We have Inagent and Novak, but you could probably, I don't know, green building, does it recommend what kind of clean agent that you must use?
Yeah, in the indoor environmental quality, couple of points are addressed on. We wanted to have fire suppression systems which are all human friendly, at the same time have a lower ozone depletion potential. And we stop it there because fire safety and structural safety are beyond a green building perspective. So we don't go into that. That is paramount. A green building cannot be completely unsafe on fire suppression system and structural. So that is a foundational, and that has to be there for every single building, whether it is a green building or not. So the answer is yes, but we don't go into the micro level. We only talk about the water-based hydrant system, or because if I'm doing a data center project, the fire suppression for a server room is completely different from a lobby and from an open area. So we go and align with experts, and whatever the standards India are universally accepted on the fire suppression or evacuation plan, we don't get into that spaces at all.
Oh, great. Good to hear that, there is some space for fire experts like us to play a role there.
No, we need everybody. And we lead with the experts. We only complement.
Anyway, Sendilvel, thanks for posting a question in the Q&A box from chat box. His question is the IGBC is describing the during and after construction credits. What about pre-construction activities such as raw material extraction and processing, as well as transportation, which will generate significant amount of greenhouse gas emission? These items are used in the construction of building. So how can a building be claimed to be zero building when you don't follow the others?
Yeah. See, for want of time, Mr. Sendilvel, this is a very interesting question. What you mean is embodied carbon. Imagine I'm buying one bag of cement today for my building. IGBC rating program today, it addresses more on the operational carbon. The cement bag has been constructed. What is operational efficient? That is a majority of the time. But we are going into the embodied carbon also. Because of want of time, I'm not gone into the details. If you see the slide earlier, I referred on the Green Pro, it goes into when I making a cement, I am sourcing the raw material from the limestone mines. I'm having a process which consumes enormous amount of coal and electricity. So how least it should be? We are getting into that. How do I minimize the amount of emissions, or where I'm sourcing the limestone? What is the process, and how do I package it? I can put it in a silo, I can put it in a wagon, or I can put it in typically in a bags. What material of the bag? All that we go into that logistics, supply chain, as it lands on your site, as well as the end of the life also. After 40 or 50 years, when you are bringing down the building, how it should come to the circular economy. The concrete should be broken, and ultimately, ideally speaking, if I have a magic band, if I have the magic band swing, it should break it into limestone, gypsum, all that material, again, it is available. So that is what we are working on. You will hear more from us because the market is not fully ready with all the elements required for the embodied carbon, but we are going to be there very soon.
Oh, thank you. And also I would like to add here, Focus, Forum of Critical Leaders, will be launching 5-city physical conference on decarbonization and net zero in the construction industry. The point that gentleman asked, we will be covering the decarbonization. I think Mr. Ashish Rakeja, Jatin, and Mr. Balkis will all join together. Every chapter will be having their own physical a seminar on decarbonization. So we'll be talking about current state of carbon emission in the construction industry and impact on the climate change. So very important topics that we will be touching upon very soon. Cinderella's last question is asking, what is the difference between LEED, IGBC, Griha? I think recently ASSOCHAM's GEM program. Which certification a builder, a promoter can opt when they want to go for a green building certification?
See, this is a very, you are putting me on a spot because I will only talk about my own rating program. See, at the end of the day, all of us objective are, how do I enhance the green features in a building typology? All the objectives are all the same. See, when you have a soft drink from one major, there will be another major also. If you have a Coke, you will have a Pepsi also. So the market will always have this one. But as far as our rating program is concerned, I told about our own strengths. This is coming from a not-for-profit industry association, 126-year-old organization, CII, number one. Number two, everybody can start a rating program. Even tomorrow also, since it is a Saturday on a lighter vein, I'm telling, don't quote me. I can resign from IGBC and start Anand rating program. But what is the ecosystem you have created? As I told you, 500 professionals are with IGBC. If I don't know anything about on MEP, I can pick up a phone with Mr. Balakrishnan and ask, how do I design a hanger? How do I design a statue? That strength is with IGBC, number one. Number two, the ecosystem, how the assessor, the quality, the objective, all that are all third party. See, because I cannot construct my own house and say that mine is green. You need to have a third party certifier. You need to have a robust system. That is where IGBC is much better. One, it comes from a CII, 125-year-old organization. Again, a lot of you, the L&Ts, all of you are members of CII. And we have a global reach. We are a founding member of World GBC. When a project gets IGBC certification, you can go to your roof and shout that my building is performing as per the global standards on energy, environment, and indoor air quality. I need not look down. And we are also closely working with government on, a lot of people ask about incentive, faster clearances for IGBC rated projects when you go for an environmental impact assessment. Or now green financing is becoming a big topic. There IGBC is playing a vital role because with a collective effort and support from the members like Focus, ISHRE, IAA, that is again a uniqueness. IGBC is an MOA partner with the CREDAI, NAREDCOs and the Builders Association. He is an MOA partner with ISHRE. You mentioned about Ashish Agaj and others. He is my IGBC technical committee chairman for a long time and is involved from IGBC, our own office from 2001 onwards. So these are all the very many uniqueness of IGBC, which is not with the other rating agencies. They call themselves as only certification agency, whereas here certification is part of it. We go to the school children, we go to the villages, we enhance the livelihoods, we bring in the CSR funds and going to the villages to do many initiatives. So rating certification is important, but that is one element. IGBC does many things.
Thank you. Well explained, Anand, about IGBC's program and certification. Sudhit Sharma is asking question to Anand during the session, informed that IGBC building got platinum rating in around 2004. That is almost 20 years back. Do IGBC have a rating review or rating validity program?
Yeah, the answer is though we got in 2004, we have measured every 6 months that is available in our BMS. 2019, we have engaged an external consultant and applied the document. 2019, we got a IGBC net zero. Though the building owner is IGBC, we have hired a consultant. They have prepared the document and this is validity is only 3 years. So next month we'll come for the revision. So even if you see the plug in my own backdrop, it says 2019 to 2020-23 only. Because of the COVID, 2 years, the performance was not good, or in the sense, we have generated more energy, all that. So the answer is, when you are getting a certificate, it is only valid for 3 years. During 3 years also, every year we ask the energy bill and the water bill, water performance to be sent to us. Imagine if I got a platinum rating for a project today. After 3 years, if I'm not able to maintain that facility and operate as per the IGBC norms, you may go down to gold also. Or vice versa, imagine today I got a building, due to various reasons I got due to the budget, this and that, I have got only IGBC Gold based on the green features for a greenfield project. But over the 3 years, my operating parameters, IGBC's existing rating program is completely different parameters. It only measures on the operational parameter. From gold, I can go to platinum also. So the answer is the validity is not forever. It is only 3 years.
Oh, very nice. I think a lot of clarity on that. Padmanathan, can you have any roadmap to increase today's content in our Indian codes and standards with implementing body support?
No, the answer is very big. Yes, I am a part of the National Building Code. When we brought the chapter 12 on sustainability, India is the first country which has brought the chapter on sustainability as a part of the National Building Code. And our chairman, Dr. Premsi Jain, was the head of that committee, headed by Mr. V. Suresh as the vice chair for the chapter on sustainability. I was also party to that entire program. So most welcome. We closely work with them, and they are also invited and involved in our IGBC rating program also. When we develop any rating program, they are also equally involved in our initiatives.
Good. Ishwaran, K. Ishwaran is asking, since the green emission started from 2001 by IGBC, in your own vision and presumption, how long will it take to become a completely sustainable country?
No, this is a billion-dollar question. You should, Ishwaran and others, you should only tell me, because in the sense, for example, the vision of IGBC when it started was slightly different. We wanted to usher in a green building movement because that was a very nation stage. People always had many apprehensions. Green buildings are costly. Green buildings awareness amongst the architects and designers and MEP consultants are not so great. These are all apprehensions and myths. So our vision was to usher in green building movement. That was the vision in 2001. After 10 years, we invited people like you, Mr. Ishwaran and others. Then only, having established many resources and initiatives, that is where again IGBC is unique. We have trained more people. That is what I call it as a 3 A's. One is on bringing more awareness. Now the material, for example, the CO2 sensor or the waterless urinal, what you saw in my presentation, in IGBC, we have paid 25,000 rupees for one urinal in 2001. Today, the waterless urinal, it came from Europe. Today, the waterless urinal is available for 3,000 rupees when I go to a showroom. Then you say that I am a part of 1 million square feet for a big developer or a big contractor, the cost will come down. What I'm saying is, one is awareness, second is on affordability, third is on affordability. All the 3 areas IGBC worked on that vision. Now the vision is to enable a sustainable built environment beyond human beings. So we are on the way, because India is a large country, unlike some of the European countries or a small state like one of the states. Uttar Pradesh itself is the biggest. So we are on the right path. As you have seen in some of the COP meetings in Glasgow, whatever you have made the commitments on having 500 gigawatt of renewable energy sources by 2030, the NDC's commitment, CO2, many of we are on the path or achieved many parameters. So we are saying that collectively, we are really committed. All of us, all the citizens are committed to provide a much more healthier spaces. So I would love to quote, many times I ask the question as well as quote in the World Green Building Councils in Hong Kong and Australia, which has been highly appreciated. When similar questions come, I always take the help of Gandhiji's quote. I'm a big follower of he said about harmony and happiness, many times questions are asked, or even the country's vision also. I quote unquote Mahatma Gandhiji's quote, happiness is when what you think, what you say, what you do are in harmony. I repeat it, as far as Gandhiji's quote is concerned, happiness is when what you think, what you say, what you do are in harmony. Imagine our country, you are saying the vision has to become a sustainable country. Your thought on your mind. You are saying that with your lips, saying that my country should become. Our actions, what I draw as an MEP consultant, what I draw as a specifier, what I construct, I have to do. When all the 3 are in harmony, our country will definitely become a Jagat Guru. My chairman, Dr. Premsi Jain, always says, not even calls India, Bharat. Bharat should become a Jagat Guru. We need all your support to make it faster.
So what is in short, each individual action will lead to the sustainable nation. So very simple. Alvin Gino is asking for major redevelopment of railway station. Is the same IGBT railway station guideline to be followed? He's asking the question.
The answer is yes and no. For example, what do you mean by major? For example, if it is only a major railway station with railway existing station facilities are getting upgraded, you can adopt the railway station guidelines. Whereas in some other stations like Ahmedabad, they would love to have a large hotel, convention center, like in Hong Kong. If you go to Hong Kong metro station is incidental. There is a 30-story residential apartment standing on top of the Hong Kong metro station. The station entrance will lead to the mall on the other side, convention center, hotel, 40 floors. So you are talking about a railway station getting into those kind of remodeling. If you are having a hotel on top of the railway station, you have to follow IGBC's new hotel rating program. If you are constructing a hospital on top of it, you are having a convention center, specific rating programs for the redevelopment has to be applied. But we draw a virtual boundary. As far as the railway station is concerned, the virtual boundary will adopt IGBC's railway station only. Because at the end of the day, railway station will be railway station. The passengers will come to the platform to board the train.
Only thing, I think I understand where he is coming from. See, there are a lot of railway stations going redevelopment in the country. And it is going to change the way railway stations are there. Like it'll have a multi-use, like there'll be offices, malls, even theaters might come in. We don't know that. So from that point of view, as an integrated, when we apply a green building, how to approach it, because there is a railway code which is quite old. I mean, railway station thing is quite old and it was for a specific purpose. So when it is integrated, how do you take it? That's I think the question.
Very interesting. The future railway station says that when you land in a city, you don't need to catch a cab or an auto or a taxi to travel 20 kilometers and burn the fuel. So when you land in an airport or in a railway station, there is a convention hall, there is a hotel, there you have all the experience that you may get from the city center at the same place. So you bring down the emissions, bring down the carbon. So that's the objective of remodeling the railway station. Everything in one. You don't need to travel into the city for one conference. So again, moving forward, Kaushik Bharat, your questions will be forwarded to Mr. Anand. Being a student, you need to know how do you make net zero water building. So he will be able to answer of the webinar. So we will forward this question to him and he will take it forward. There's a question from Satish Iyengar, who is our treasurer of Focus. If a built environment is already platinum certified by LEED or AGREA also, can they be given platinum rating by IGBC?
Yeah, some of the projects, the answer is yes, sir. Some of the projects, earlier they would adopted some other rating program. They have come to an existing building, or a couple of projects, they do parallel also. So the answer is yes. We'll be more than happy. If you have any project in your mind, we'll be more than happy to work with you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Sudit, you can probably, Mr. Anand has already posted his mobile number. You can get in touch with him regarding IGBC AP activities and how to become member. Anand will be able to guide. I could see many people want to become IGBC member. At the same time, I will be very personally happy if you too become a Focus member. Okay. So moving on to the Arjun, is there any digital mechanism to track the building grade according to IGBC requirement from pre to post construction activity and operational phase like BIP?
See, we are developing a very big database. It is on the work in progress, but nevertheless, we do track, we give for a greenfield project, as I said, we give enormous amount of weightage for our rating program. And how do you conceive the building in a greenfield project? How do you conceive? Because as I told you, orientation, I can change the lamp and air conditioner in my existing building, but I cannot change the orientation of the building. I cannot rotate. Somebody cannot come and say that, okay, you change your building orientation by few degrees north. So it is next to impossible. You will kick me out of the room actually. So Those elements that is the reason I say, how do you conceive the project, not even design? So our rating program encourages all the elements on your rich experience. How do you conceive? Then comes the design, then comes the specification, then construction, the post tensioning or using a fly ash base. For example, 20 years ago, when I used to go to power plant, all the coal-based power plant, they used to cut a check to give the fly ash to be taken by the vendor. Heaps of fly ash used to be there. Now you see, every cement manufacturer, the fly ash is seen as a raw material. The code itself says that you can use in the grades up to 20, some grades up to 25% to 30% fly ash. So the tectonic change in the entire way, the way in which now people are standing in front of the same power plant with a check to buy the fly ash. So what I'm trying to tell is IGBC rating program is holistic. The way in which you conceive is given a lot of importance. In fact, IGBC is the only rating program which has an exclusive module on sustainable architecture. That is the first module we start. Imagine somebody is given a 10-acre property. Straight away, the land belongs to you. Whichever way you can build, design, construct, you can do that. But if this has a flora and fauna, for example, our own office building, I don't know how many of you visited. If you are not visited, I asked the question in a training program. Hyderabad is known for what? Many people say that Hyderabad is known for biryani, pearl, Golconda, Charminar, but not many or not none will say it is known for natural rock formation. Hyderabad is one of the very unique city in the whole of Asia which has the natural rock formation. The natural rocks what we had are having in our site of 5 acres in IGBC headquarters is much older than the language what you and I speak. Though the land belongs to us, the rock doesn't belong to us. The rock is part of the entire ecosystem. So we preserve the rock before giving them given. Otherwise, you see our own offices on the highway. We could have built a beautiful square or a rectangular box facing towards the highway. We would have got more mileage. Whereas our office's entrance is on the other way around. Because we had done the entire energy modeling. Our building is the first one to do the energy modeling. At the time, modeling means we thought this is something to do with the fashion technology. Modeling is only to the NIFT and others. We know only about energy. We are the one who married both energy and modeling in a way or two. So we give a lot of importance. How do you preserve the flora and the fauna? Then comes all the elements. So
thank you. We are supposed to close by 12:30. I will take 3 questions. Then I will hand over this to Mr. Balakrishnan and Ravi Shankar Tandavan who's waiting. I will pick up only 3 short. The reply can be short so that we can conclude with our target time. And one is how the net zero concept will help to global warming and ozone depletion. This is something I also felt a very important question.
See, it is very simple. Answer is, imagine our own building. By design, if I had gone with conventional building, our building would have consumed 1,200 electrical units per day. But right from 2003, in the early days, it was consuming only 600 units of electricity per day. So when you consume less energy, somewhere else, the power plant is going to burn less oil and less coal. So they are going to get less emissions. So it preserves both the ozone as well as the global warming. So somebody asked about the refrigerant also. We encourage both global warming potential. When the entire ozone layer got depleted, everyone went into refrigerants which are having good energy consumption, ozone protecting, but it started consuming more energy actually. So we need to, both are two sides of the same coin. So we need to address on the global warming in terms of reducing the energy consumption. At the same time, if my air conditioner is consuming less energy, but if the refrigerant is not good, after 15 years when I dump it, it may create a bigger problem for the ozone layer. My energy bill for the last 15 years may be low, but I'm doing an injustice to the environment also. So both global warming and ozone depletion or energy efficiency and environment friendliness are two sides of the same coin. IGBC addresses on both.
Thank you. Question from Ramesh. Ramesh, is there any difference in assessment methodology of green building rating of existing building and new building?
The entire parameters are completely different, sir, for both the new building and existing building. Because in a new building, we give weightage to the orientation, wall, envelope. Whereas in existing building, the assessment or the parameters, I would say, I don't know about the assessment, the parameters, definition, the process is different.
Yeah.
Thank you. There are a few more questions on IGBC. So those who are asking about more detail about IGBC certification, membership, I will forward that to Anand and he will personally reply to you later. So Rudra Pratap Aditya, is there any point for operational rating for not using PET bottles, single use bottle for drinking water juice? Is any rating for that? How do you?
This is not, see, this is one element of encouraging people to use more and more renewable energy. So it's not a rating tool for not a PET bottle. For example, I don't use plastic bottle at all. I use a glass. I carry a water bottle to my office. Or even if you see many of the conventions of IGBC, we always ask a glass bottle. And some people may not be comfortable, so we keep the Bisleri water, or PET bottles also. That is one element, sir. I'll keep it brief. For more, there is a topic by itself. You call me, or we can talk later on.
So we have an international participant. The last question which I take. Let me see how you will answer this. George. All buildings are a compromise of many factors. For example, in Europe, in the 80s, there was a brick and red and not white. And I have same problem in India because all walls has to be concrete, but drywall would be a good idea for weight reduction, etc. That's just one point of many.
Yeah. See, somehow you have we do IGBC encourages the drywall construction. Now our Green Building Congress is going to focus on the lightweight construction. It is not only envelope. All the partitions, the furnitures, the false ceiling, all of them should be light. So when the entire building is light, your structural loads comes down. So that is the reason in India, we always have the clothes, everything as a breathable one. Mr. George or whoever asked, that's what even the wall has to be breathing actually. So if you go to a village house, they would have been much greener than my own office. They have a mud walls, which all are porous. So it brings in a lot of fresh air to the wall. So that is what we are trying to bring in, how the buildings can be contemporary. We are trying to bring in the porous walls. That is the reason in India, many a times we always use the white ambassadors and a white dress, because unlike the Europe, majority of the time you are in the cold country. The cold, we wanted the black color car. Everything wanted to be black color radiation, black body radiation. Whereas that is the reason Gandhiji, and even if you go to a desert today, in Rajasthan, they will have a big turban at the white only. They are the most insulated turban, which will not allow the 45-degree heat to come into their head actually. So that is what the entire government of India's new scheme on life. The entire thing is about how the learnings of the ancient India's wisdom on the lifestyle is going to make a big impact on the energy and environment. So that is what is all about IGBC also.
Yeah. Only thing I'll add one more thing to it. We are looking at a lot of lightweight materials and drywall. In the constructions. Of course, we need to balance between both because there is also fire rating requirement in buildings. So I think that is where the balance, when we do, sometimes we are forced to use certain type of material from fire point of view. But of course, there are technologies now in concrete or whatever it is, lightweight. So it's a balance. But internal walls, yes, definitely lightweight drywall partitions can be used. So just to answer Mr. George.
Thank you. What a wonderful session today. We didn't know that we have, almost crossed 1.5 hours. What a wonderful. So I'll give my mic to our General Secretary, Ravi Shankar Thandavan, who's sitting in Chennai along with Balakrishnan. I think Anand is from Hyderabad. I'm from Bangalore. So 3 different cities. Over to Ravi Shankar for your concluding remarks. Ravi, you're on mute. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Dominic. Can you hear me? Is my voice loud and clear?
Yes, I hear.
Wonderful. Good morning. Good afternoon, gentlemen and ladies, if they were present. It's a pleasure to be part of this program. And my very special thanks to the Chennai Focus Chairman, Mr. Balakrishnan. Thank you, Mr. Anand Muthukrishnan, for this very enlightening presentation. It was not just profound and informative, Mr. Muthukrishnan, but it was exceptionally inspiring. It was a very, very good presentation. And I must say, Mr. Anand Muthukrishnan, you are a great ambassador for IGBC. Of the several things that you presented, Mr. Muthukrishnan, if there is something that I can carry home, is one very, very valuable point, uh, which which everybody I'm sure will share, and it's not just in one line of business, but it's a life mantra, I would say. It is not just to do less of bad, but to do more of good. I think that is a very, very profound statement that you made. Ladies and gentlemen, you must have watched the video that we presented right at the beginning on focus, and it probably explained to you what we stand for. However, what we are currently undergoing and we are working towards is for some profound transformation that is sure to propel us at Focus to a higher state of relevance in the construction industry. As you all know, that Focus is not an umbrella body, is not a platform, but it is a confluence of all the verticals, every single vertical of the construction industry. Our focus and energies are now going to be directed towards the most important aspects of the current day discussion, which is sustainability, net zero, decarbonizing, and such other sustainability goals. Our Prime Minister, during his various visits around the world, has demonstrated his leadership and has committed to challenging goals. 50% of energy from renewables by 2030 was his commitment to the world body. Reduction of total carbon emission by 1 billion tons from now to 2030. 45% reduction of carbon intensity by once again 2030, and achieving the targeted net zero, by emissions by 2070. He's also become the voice of several developing countries. Mr. Anand Muthukrishnan spoke about Bharat and the leadership position that we are slowly, working on. I think our Prime Minister is a very good example of how he is, being the voice of several developing countries. So, therefore, gentlemen, it is us, the architects, the engineers, the consultants, the suppliers, the integrators across varied domains who have this enormous responsibility on our shoulder. Prime Minister has given these commitments. Prime Minister will initiate, will make processes for all these things. But at the end of the day, it is our responsibility, your and my responsibility, to see how we can do our bit towards this positive change for our future. Because I think it's extremely important that we work towards this. As the General Secretary of Focus, I encourage you to extend your very best support in all our endeavors. And I think together we can achieve great heights. But no great achievement has ever been possible without a selfish interest. For any great objective to be successful, there must be a selfish interest. So selfish is not really a bad word there. Our action to the cause of protecting the environment are actually for the better, for the tomorrow for us and our children. If securing the future of our children is not selfish, then I don't understand what is. So let us realize that we have in us the potential to excel. Let us work together for the tomorrow that we wish to leave behind for our children, for posterity. I think we must, because we can, and hence I think we should and we will, because at the end of the day, Aham Brahmasmi. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you for this wonderful program. Thank you, Chennai Chairman, Chennai Chapter Chairman Balakrishnan sir, Dominic, our administrative staff, Shilpa. Thank you all very much. And most of all, thank you, Mr. Anand Muthukrishnan, for this wonderful presentation this morning. And thank you, each one of you. Thanks to each one of you for participating in this program. We have several more lined up, and our event chair, Mr. Dominic, will roll out several of these programs, not just on the internet, but also certain physical programs. Thank you very much, and have a lovely weekend.
Ravi, I also want to thank
Thank you.
team member of Mr. Balakrishnan, Venkatesh, who took this initiative to insist that let's do it. So this whole program conceived in less than a week's time. So I want to thank Venkatesh for his effort and Mr. Balakrishnan effort. In 1 week, we were able to bring in 470 attendees for this program. Wonderful job, sir. Wonderful team that you have. Thank you very much. Have a great day. God bless you all. Happy Maharashtra Shivratri.